The first mistake is failing to dethatch or aerate your lawn before you level. This is important because anytime that you level your lawn, you're taking sand or soil and you're massaging it into your grass's canopy. Now my lawn was just dethatched and aerated about a week ago, so this sand is going to go down nicely into the lawn. If you have a bunch of thatch on top of your lawn, that sand is going to sit on top of the thatch rather than going down deep into the canopy of the grass. So in order to get the best results, make sure that you dethatch or aerate before you level. So the next mistake is buying bags of sand or soil from the big box store. And I know a lot of you guys are probably like, wait, George, you used to recommend doing that. Unfortunately, no longer I can, because if you take a look at this bag of play sand right here, it's $7.31. Now, back in the day, back in 2022, not even that long ago, these bags used to cost $2.99 each. So we're talking over a 200% increase just in the last couple of years. In my opinion, this is just not a viable option anymore. So instead of buying your soil from Home Depot or Lowe's, I recommend that you come to a place like this. This is my local dirt supplier. So today I'm here with Tim Wallace of Tim Wallace Soil Mix Supply in Bolingbrook, Illinois. Good to see you again,
Good
Tim.
to see you again, George. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Why would you recommend somebody to buy their materials from a dirt supplier versus the big box store?
The first reason is quality. You're going to get a quality product from your local supplier. And the second reason is the cost savings. Buying in bulk is going to save you a lot of money in the long run, and it's going to be a lot less aggravation instead of going back and forth to the store, loading your car, truck up, 20 bags at a time. Just order it bulk, have it delivered bulk on your driveway, you're ready to go.
Now the next mistake is buying material that's filled with a bunch of debris. Now if you go to the big box store and you buy bags of soil, odds are you're going to find a whole bunch of rocks, sticks. Heck, I'm not even kidding you, I've even found broken glass in those bags of soil. So the key here is to find a dirt supplier that actually screens their material. So I want to ask Tim how he keeps his material so clean, so you guys know what to look for in a supplier.
So the process that we go through is the machine behind us is like a pulverizer screener. Once the dirt's put in the hopper, it gets dropped down into what we call a hammer mill that grinds everything up into nice fine pieces, goes up the belt, and the final process, which is very important and a lot of places don't do it, is we screen it. So by screening it, it takes out all the big debris and gives you a nice fine product which is easy to use. So when ordering topsoil, one of the most important things that you want to consider is that you get screened material. And up here you can see our screener, and once the topsoil flows through the pulverizer, this is what you're going to end up receiving when you order screened topsoil. This is what you don't want to receive, and this is why the screening process is so important, is these hard clumps that you can't do anything with.
The next mistake is using wet material. And just to give you a heads up, sourcing dry material is not as easy as it sounds, because whether you go to a supplier or the big box store, odds are you're going to find a lot of wet material there. So just know that this is going to be kind of the hardest thing that you're probably going to go through while leveling your lawn. So I personally wanted to ask Tim, how does he keep his material dry, so you guys know what to look for in your supplier?
So as you can see behind us, we keep everything underneath the roof. That way we can keep the material dry, and when we blend it together, it comes out nice and fine, and it's easy for the customer to level and spread. You can see how easy this is going to be when you guys start leveling your lawns out, because we keep it dry and it's very easy to spread.
One of the biggest questions that we get asked on our channel is, George, what type of sand should we use to level our lawn? So what type of sand do you guys like to use?
So we use a fine mason sand, and this is the same sand that the masons use when making mortar. We have it screened down to 1/32 of an inch, and it makes our soil mixes very easy to apply.
So before we get to our next mistake, I want to thank Tim Wallace of Tim Wallace Soil Mix Supply for sponsoring this video. It feels awesome working with local businesses so we can help each other out. So if you guys live in the Chicagoland area and you're looking for the absolute best lawn leveling material possible, make sure you guys click the link in the description for Tim's business. He's over here local in Bolingbrook, Illinois, and he supplies the whole Chicagoland area. And, Tim, I want to thank you again.
Oh, thank you again, George. We appreciate it.
The next mistake is not using a lawn leveling rake like this one here to level your lawn. If you're looking to get a golf course style lawn, this is the secret. The advantage of using a rake like this is the way it's designed. It has a wide flat base that drags material evenly across your lawn. These channels in the rake act like a knife spreading butter across your lawn. It'll naturally knock down any high spots or clumps you might have. Another thing about these style rakes is that they have a good amount of heft to it, which is a good thing. Whenever you're leveling your lawn, you want a firm press against the ground down so you can get the smoothest finish possible. Another good thing about this rake in particular is that it has an extra long handle. I'm about 6'2", you can see it's clearly taller than me. What's nice about this long handle is whenever you're doing your project, you could take long open swaths with it and cover a lot more square feet when it has that extra long handle, which is going to save you a lot of time and effort when you're leveling your lawn. Now just take a look at my lawn, how flat it is. If you want this type of finish in your lawn, these rakes are the secret to achieving that. And the best part about this rake is that it's made right here in the USA. So if that's important to you and you want to support American-made products, click the link in the description if you want to pick one of these rakes up, and use my code PRINCESS at checkout to get 10% off your order. This rake is amazing and I highly recommend it if you have a leveling project coming up. Now, one of the most asked questions that we get on the channel is, George, should I seed before or after I level my lawn? And the short answer is you always want to seed your lawn after you level, never before. And the reason for this is because if you seed your lawn before you level, you're going to end up burying your seed way too deep in the soil. Seed doesn't even need to be buried in the soil whatsoever. It just needs to have seed to soil contact. So whether that's a dusting or even if the seed's just sitting on top and pressed into the soil, that's all it needs to germinate. Any more than that and you're going to sabotage the germination of your grass seed. The next mistake is leveling at the wrong time. Leveling could be very stressful to your grass, so we want to make sure that we do it when grass is growing its strongest. So if you have a cool season lawn, that would be mid-spring and mid-fall. And if you have a warm season lawn, that would be late spring going into summer. And just to make this as easy as possible for you guys, if you find that you need to mow your lawn at least 2 to 3 times per week, that's how you know it's a good time to level your lawn. The next mistake is not fertilizing before you level your lawn. This is important because leveling is actually very stressful to your grass, and we want to do everything we can to make sure that it can recover as fast as possible. And the best thing you could do is apply a fast-acting form of nitrogen fertilizer about a week or 2 before you start leveling your lawn. My favorite fertilizer to use before leveling is this Stay Green 2000. This is a budget line of fertilizers that Lowe's sells, and the reason why I like this fertilizer in particular for leveling is that it contains 100% ammonium sulfate, which is the fastest acting source of nitrogen fertilizer that you could buy on the market. So what's good about this fertilizer is because it's fast acting, you could put it down on the ground and you're going to get a flush of top growth in just a few days. Now, if you can't get this fertilizer for whatever reason, then I would recommend getting the Scott's Lawn Food in the green bag. What's good about this fertilizer is it also contains some fast release nitrogen fertilizer in there. So it's also going to give you a flush of top growth right before you do your lawn leveling. And that's what's going to help our grass recover the fastest. But yeah, apply either one of these at the bag rate about a week before you do your lawn leveling and you'll be good to go. Now the next mistake is not mowing your grass short enough before you level your lawn. Now you might think that if you leave your grass blades taller, it'll have an easier time poking through the lawn leveling material, but that's not the case. So what you want to do instead of leaving your grass blades tall is you want to go to your mower deck and put it down to its lowest setting possible. Whenever you mow your grass blades short, it's going to allow your grass to stand more erect. So whenever you massage that material into the canopy, it's going to penetrate the surface of that material much harder. And if you got any value out of this video, then make sure you guys click that like button. And if you're curious whether you should be using sand or soil to level your lawn, then click this video right here. In this video, I'll explain to you exactly which one to use, and your lawn will look amazing. And with that, this is George from Princess Cut. Peace.